Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cripescast. This is the podcast where we talk to people for and or from the Midwest. We got a fresh new episode for you this week, and we are brought to you by Everlight Solar. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Cripescast. I am coming to you alive from the road, on the road this week, and we are talking to comedian Mary Mack. Mary Mack is hilarious. I saw her... I want to say about a month ago, my brother John put on a show. Mary Mack was the headliner. You probably know her voice. She's been a voice actor and done TV on shows like Solar Opposites. And she's done stuff on Aqua Teen Hunger Force. She's been on Last Comic Standing. She's been on Conan. Just super, super funny, super Midwest. She is currently on tour. She is taking her van with her husband. They're going all around the U.S. They got some solar panels on it. We talk about her van. We talk about her comedy. We talk about all of it. That is coming up very soon. Before we get to that, Colleen Maraca joins me remotely from the Cripescast studio. Colleen.
Oh, shoot.
What's cooking? Oh, she's got the balloons going. Nice.
Sorry.
So if you do peace, the balloons come up on the thing?
Yeah, I don't know what I did that one time. It's ever since I got the new update, like you can do. Nobody else seems to have it the way that I do, and I just did confetti.
Well, you must be special. So, Colleen, what do we have looking forward to with tour, with life, with whatever?
Yeah, it's tours all good. This is coming out after the Illinois shows, and then we are heading to Minnesota. So Mankato is February 1st, Brainerd is February 2nd, and then Duluth February 3rd. So a nice little weekend up in Minnesota. I'm excited to see your show. I have yet to see it, and I'm going to be there for those. And then you got dates in Colorado. We've got Denver and Greeley in mid-February. And then you've got some shows in Iowa, then in North Carolina. So lots of stuff going on right now. Head to cripescast.com. We have a lot of information there on, you can go buy our merch. You can find us on Patreon. You can see where Charlie is going to be playing his show for you in the coming months. And yeah, that's kind of what we've got going on. And then is that when you met Mary Mack? Was that John's show?
Yeah, so my brother hosts shows around Milwaukee, produces shows, and so he got Mary Mack. Mary Mack, people are huge fans of her from the television series and all that, but also just her stand-up. Yeah. She's got the very funny, Midwest, super thick accent, and but just so authentically funny. And just a joy to talk to. So, yeah, I enjoyed it. Did she say anything that surprised you, Kelly?
I loved that she was in Nashville trying to start a polka band. Like, that is so funny to me. Like, that's crazy and so Midwest, but that was funny. And then, like, what you said about effortlessly funny, it's so true. Like, she just drops nuggets here and there and moves on. And they're like crazy parts of stories that you're like, wait. We got like multiple times. You're like, wait, before we get too far, like she has just such funny like details here and there. So yeah, she's a good storyteller. And then it was a lot of fun listening to you guys talk about that.
Yeah. I had a blast with it. You're like her subtle punchlines. Just it's almost like I have to listen back sometimes to. I'm sure listening back to this podcast, she just slips them in. She just drops them. You don't even notice.
Absolutely.
But very funny. I think you guys will enjoy the conversation. Before we get to it, I just want to say that, for the past couple months, we've been raising awareness about everything going on in the Middle East with Doctors Without Borders. They are consistently doing everything they can to get medical supplies to the people who need it the most in the world right now. That is those, men and women and largely children. So many children are going without anesthesia, life-saving care, all of that right now in Gaza. But Doctors Without Borders is raising money, sending in staff, doing their best. So check them out, doctorswithoutborders.org. You can donate there directly and follow them at Doctors Without Borders. All right. With that, ladies and gentlemen, let's get to my conversation with comedian Mary Mack. How are you doing? Where are you right now?
Well, I just got back. I have this route I do, and I just got back. Most of the time I'm in Port Wing, Wisconsin, and my mom still lives in Webster, Wisconsin area, Webb Lake, Webster, Danbury. And so I have this route I do where I go from Port Wing to Webster to take care of my mom for a day. And then I go back down to Minneapolis because that's where the airport is. So I have my circuit, and I'm in Minneapolis right now. So, and I was worried. I was like, oh, am I going to offend Charlie's listeners because I'm a hybrid of Wisconsin and Minnesota, and I could only see the Vikings growing up because I'm a border child.
Uh-oh. Yeah, you are, actually. I wish you would have told me that earlier. I would have never invited you on. But here you are, so we're going to have to deal with it. So now, how did that go for you? What was, first of all, what was you're getting on an airport in an airport, and then you're just going and touring comedy, or you're going back down somewhere else, or
no,
let's finish that up.
I have a house in Minneapolis, and so I used to fly every weekend for comedy, for my stand-up comedy touring. And now I can't stand flying anymore. It's got a lot to do with the parts of the plane falling off, and the whole, it has a lot to do with the holes in the planes. But I'm trying to not have
I don't want to interrupt.
Yeah, no, please interrupt. Yeah, it's your show.
Do a lot of planes have holes in them?
Well, if you're riding on a 737 MAX built by Boeing, who's getting exemptions.
They've had a rough go of it. So you don't trust the flying process at all. You're a no-go on. You're just like my grandpa Bob. My grandpa Bob had so much turbulence on his way back from Korea that he never flew again.
I respect that. I have gotten off at least 4 planes just as they're about to close the door, and I'll take an Amtrak across the country. That's why I have the credit card, and I have some free trips coming.
You have the Amtrak credit card.
Oh yeah, I got several free trips coming.
That wasn't a bit in your show, the Amtrak credit card?
Oh no, it is a bit in my show. It's also true.
Oh my, I didn't know they had that. That's so funny.
Yeah.
You should do a commercial for the Amtrak credit card, I think.
No,
I'm surprised.
Oh, Amtrak is so stupid. I got to tell you something. They could do so well. There was a comedy festival that took place on the Amtrak, and Amtrak sent them a cease and desist. And I was like, this is free advertising for the Amtrak. They're just dumb. Like, they're just dumb. They could do so much better than they are. They could just hire like a Gen Z marketing executive and do way better.
Oh, totally. Because, it's one of the more environmentally friendly ways to travel, taking the train.
Mark Twain thought so. He wrote about it, even with a steam engine. Hey, so yeah, I'm in Minneapolis. I got to finish the story. And then I'll be going back up north in a week because I planned it around my mom's doctor's appointments. I grew up on the border, like we were talking, and I could only get twins on TV. We had our 3 channels, and it was all from Minnesota, and we could get twins or Vikings. And then I went to college down in Oshkosh, and I thought, what? How are the Packers sure are popular down here? Like, yeah. What's this whole Packers thing about? Because we never even had cable. Like, there wasn't cable in our town. And in fact, my sister, she has internet, and she pays like $80 a month. I don't know why. She still can't watch a video because we can't get high speed internet on the road I grew up on. So It's ridiculous. Yeah.
Isn't that interesting that even in 2024 that can't be done?
Yeah, I'm sure it could be done, but
Yeah, well, you'd have to. Someone would have to have the deep pockets and bring in the fiber or Elon Starlink. Like, you ever see those moving stars at night?
Yeah.
Have you seen that?
Yeah, I guess that maybe they could figure that out, or this is going to piss off your listeners, or the assembly and all the folks could just accept the infrastructure money and give us.
Oh yeah.
Can I swear?
Yeah.
You could just accept that money and help us out. But I think they just do other things with it. So.
Yeah, I mean, Wisconsin has had some backwards political decisions in our past. There's no doubt of that. I mean, at one time, I mean, we've turned down money for a lot of reasons that don't seem to make sense to anyone except those politically posturing for it.
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, but one good thing I heard on the radio yesterday was that
What'd you hear?
A bipartisan is finally something. They're gonna allow more EV chargers. They're gonna change the public utilities laws and bring some more EV chargers in. And so I hope that includes.
That's great.
Yeah, includes Northern. And here's what the problem is with. It's not just for cars. Like, people have generators. There's like generators that you can charge on those EV. So there's like a lot of people who want to live off the grid up north. And if we could just go and get some juice from one of those EV car chargers, it's ideal, right? For a lot of people up north. And so, I mean, come on, bring us the stuff. We're waiting. We've been waiting. Okay, sorry.
Well,
it's not even a Cripescast. It's a Gripescast, Charlie.
No, but look, I always like this podcast is sponsored by Everlight Solar. They
sweet.
put the solar panels. I'm not in my studio, but when I am, that it's powered by solar. And the thing with that is, like, I always say it's not just like the hippies who want it. It's people who the screw the government guys.
Yes,
the guys who want.
It's the doomsday survivalists. Look what I got.
Yeah.
Here's what's going on. Okay, so I'm touring my next 5 weeks because I hate flying so much. I am touring in my new Barbie Dream Crusher van. And so
tell me about it.
What I'm experimenting with are these SIGs. These weigh like 4 pounds. This is a 100-watt SIGs, CIGS solar panel that I can adhere to the roof of my Barbie Dream Crusher van, which, by the way, I can shower in. So things are really turning around for me, Charlie.
Holy smokes. And
so I put 3 of these whoppers up there, and I'm charging my solar generator as I drive. And then I have another little foldable contraption that I can charge it. If I want to park my van in the sun, I just hook up these other solar panels in the shade, and it'll run my AC unit. So I'm my own Elon Musk because I've created the dog setting in my Barbie Dream Crusher van.
Wow.
I know, because I'm running AC off of solar all day nonstop. I don't know.
That's really impressive that I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah, you could do it. I've learned way too much this last month. If you have any questions, let me know. But
how long have you been driving around the van doing comedy?
Well, guess what? So people are like, why does she need AC at 0 degrees out? Because I'm going south this year after the trauma of last winter, after the 13 feet of snow we got in Port Wing last winter. I'm going south. So I bought this van. It's 23 years old, and I've never driven it before. And I mean, my first trip to Florida. So
really?
It's not wise.
Really? So
it's not wise.
No, it's not wise.
Yeah.
What kind of a van is it? What kind of a van is it?
Dodge Road Trek. Don't worry, everybody. I know what you're thinking. Those headlights, you're not going to see nothing. But don't worry about it because I already replaced the headlights with Eagle Eyes. And so, because I had a Dodge Neon, I'm familiar with the cloudy Dodge headlights.
Oh, yeah.
So,
the Road Trek, huh?
Yeah, Dodge Road Trek 20.
Oh.
I had to avoid, I couldn't do shows in Chicago because I didn't think I could park a 20.5-foot vehicle in Chicago. So I'm bypassing that. My first stop is going to be Holman, Wisconsin, because there's plenty of room for a 20.5-foot vehicle there.
Sure.
Drugan's Golf, Holman. I do that February 3rd. And then my next stop is Cincinnati. And I am so stoked, Charlie, about Cincinnati because it's above freezing there right now. And that means I can just start shooting water into my, I'm going to be able to use my potable water. I'm going to be able to just have my toilet running in there. And it's like, I've never had that in a camper before where you could just like go to the bathroom in it and shower in it. And once I hit Cincinnati, it's warm enough to do it.
Well, well, you know what? It's a good thing you didn't shower before getting on this podcast. You just waste the water since you're going to be doing it in Cincinnati.
Yeah, I say I only shower in Cincinnati from now on.
Yeah, I don't know why you would shower anywhere else. It's the best place to shower. This is a cool ass car. I'm looking at pictures of it. I'm kind of jealous. You know, when I was growing up, I had an 11-seater Dodge. Basically what you got without the rooftop on it, because you know, of all the kids, being the one of 12. Yeah. It was like a Presbyterian van with a bigger ass. That's what we drove around in.
Yes.
So,
yes.
And we drove it to Florida one year too. Well, not Florida, Alabama, because we were going on the big family trip. Yeah. This was the first time we'd ever been outside of the Midwest.
Oh gosh.
And we were going down to Alabama for see if we can make it all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. And we did. 14 people, 15-seater van. So
wow. And you know, it's probably 70 cents a gallon at that time. So
sure. Could have been.
Yeah. I'm a real contradiction. I don't know what's the word. I've got a lot of conflict. I'm an internal conflict going down the road because I'm only getting like 12 miles a gallon, but everything else is running on solar. So it's like the worst.
No, I mean, it's not that bad because like flying is significant. Like having that additional weight in the plane adds more. So you got to do it somehow, you know. I mean, and we all got to live a little here and there. But I think it's cool. And the longer you go, the more efficient you'll get. I'm sure you'll turn it into a vegetable machine at some point. But
I hope so.
But that's cool. So, but you haven't started really doing this yet. This is your first go at it, huh?
Yep. So I feel like I should maybe do some check-ins. Maybe you should do some wellness checks. I'm volunteering your podcast to do some wellness checks on me. And I have 2 dogs that come with me. So I needed to have this because I just really wanted to be with my dogs.
Well, I think there's a lot of reasons for you to do it between your dogs and not wanting to fly and also getting the solar panel hookups. You got no reason not to. So I'm excited for you. Let me ask you, how did you get your start in comedy? How did it all begin for you?
It's actually a very Wisconsin-y reason. I went down to music school in Nashville and I missed Wisconsin and my roommate was from Wisconsin and we were we started a polka band in Nashville.
Really?
Yeah, yes.
Hey, Polka City.
Yeah, we have the drinking record at a couple establishments in Nashville. And, it's just that because polka does that to people, they really like drinking during the music. But our other members of the band, like we had a full band, they were, at that time, polka wasn't very popular in Nashville. And I don't know that it ever did get popular, but especially there wasn't much internet at that time. And our members, they didn't really know about polka. So long story short, that we weren't great. We weren't that good. And when you're trying to cover a 4-hour gig, I was forced into a frontman position when really I just wanted to arrange the music and play my clarinet and my sax and my flute. I just wanted to cover woodwinds, arrange music. But I ended up being forced into a frontman position, and I would have to tell a lot of stories in between the songs. And so pretty soon people were like, because I'm stalling for time, right? We want to cover the gig and we're not that good. And pretty soon people were like, well, we really like the stories better than the music, or we really like the talking, which is like the worst thing for a band to hear. That's not a good sign if people are enjoying it more when you're not playing. So, yeah. So my roommate, she just started signing me up for things. She went, important detail. Our band kind of broke up. It broke up just because people were crazy. And like we went through tuba players, like Spinal Tap went through drummers. Like one of our tuba players one time just like holed up in his apartment for like 3 months and never came in. Nobody came in, nobody came out, but we found out somehow he was selling magic mushrooms out of his apartment. And can I swear a little bit on here?
Yeah, you say whatever you want.
Well, you got to grow those mushrooms on shit. So we're like, is he using his own excrement to grow magic mushrooms and sell it to people? And so there should have been a wellness check on that guy, but we just let it run its course. And I ran into him one time in Kentucky and everything seemed fine. So,
did it?
Yeah. Well, he was out and about, and that was a great sign. But
good for him. Did you ever ask if he was using his own shit for that, or
no,
did he find a cow?
We were too polite to ask him. And if he found a cow, somebody would have had to bring the cow shit to him, and they would have just had to slide it under the door because he wasn't letting people in.
That's a pretty thin cow pie.
Yes. But I forgot what the question was about that. Anyway, so she'd sign me up.
She'd say for open mics.
Yes, but she didn't tell me if they were comedy or what. It was a game we'd play, and she'd just be like, have your clarinet ready, dress for movement. And I would just go to whatever. Sometimes it would be an open mic. Sometimes it would be auditions. I remember one time, I didn't know what the hell. She goes, prepare a song you think you can sing and wear loose fitting clothes. And I didn't know this. It was a fun game. I auditioned for a musical called Best Little Whorehouse in Texas in a church in Tennessee.
Nice.
And then it was a part of the game. And then one of the things stuck. It was an open mic, and it was actually poetry night, but I just prepared a story. She said, prepare a story. And she didn't know it was poetry night, but I did it. And I loved it because people listened to me and they were quiet and I didn't get any laughs, but people were listening and I couldn't believe they were listening to me. So I got addicted to writing things for the stage. So that's how I got into it. Was our polka band broke up and I missed performing and being creative.
Wow.
Yeah. Long story for that question.
No, I mean, so how old were you in Nashville at this time?
I think I was about 25 or 26 or maybe 26 when 25, 26 when she started signing me up for stuff.
And did you just then from there start doing stand-up
Music.
comedy and just doing straight stand-up?
Yeah, I didn't go straight stand up for a while because I was always a musician. So I would do some kind of music with it. And I would do like songs and then talk between the song. And I gradually just kind of weaned myself off of the music portion. And then because I just got lazier and lazier and lazier. Because I was like, oh, if I just talked, I don't have to bring an amp or an instrument. I don't have to carry anything. And so gradually I just started talking because my effort level just really went down. But I still make a big effort to write things. But physically, as far as what I'm willing to lift, I just talk now.
Yeah, it's like a 3-pound minimum. You lift a microphone and that's really it.
Yeah. In fact, sometimes my husband and I do these corporate events, and my husband's a comic too. And he brings his own spotlight because these buffets never have, these like banquet centers never have lighting. So Tim brings his own spotlight, but I'm like too lazy to carry a spotlight. So I just bring 2 Menards work lights that weigh like a pound each. They got clamps, and they have clamps on the end. And
clamps.
That's what I do because I don't want to lift a 25 to 40 pound spotlight up on a stand. It's too hard.
You know, I don't argue with that at all. And in fact, those halogen like lights, they have that sort of halogen kind of color, even if it's not halogen itself, and that'll get the job done good. You just got to be closing your eyes when you fire that thing up, because otherwise, that's how you.
I don't go.
That's how you get cataracts.
Yeah, that's really hard on you. I just get the kind I screw in like a 120 watt bulb, which are becoming harder to find. A warm bulb, incandescent, and it's getting harder and harder to find those. So stock up on those while you can. Just like how my mom stocks up on old time antennas.
Your mom stocks up on old time antennas.
Get that
just for fun?
For
Is she
me.
a
They don't make those anymore. And then she goes around asking for converters that are like, where you convert it from the digital signal over to your analog antenna.
Yeah, so she's a collector, your mother.
Yeah, it's too difficult. Yeah. We're back. I'm in full circle.
Got it. Yeah, we are full circle just after that. So you start doing comedy maybe 10 years after Nashville.
Right
was it
in
10 years? No, you said it was like 10 years before you were doing comedy like full time. Because you said you went from comedy.
I went full out because I quit my music teaching job, and I just took anything I could get first year. I wrote like 3 hours plus a day, and I would try anything on stage. So it was like, it was probably like a year of open mics and like getting paid. And oh God, Nashville at the time was really wild. So I was down there for like a year, and then and then Minneapolis just had a great club, and my brothers lived in the Twin Cities. So I would go between my brothers' houses and live in their basement, and just gradually got hired. I took anything, and it was like within a year of starting where I was doing it. I had to do odd jobs.
Okay, gotcha. So what did that look like? Like, how long was it where you were doing kind of odd jobs along the way, and when did it make the sort of transition from hobby to this is what I'm doing for my life?
Yeah, no, I guess it would be, I worked substitute Todd at a correctional facility, and I do like open mic on a Monday and Tuesday night and get home at like 1 a.m. And then I'd sleep 3 hours. I'd get up at 4 and drive to the correctional facility. It was really tough to start, but I guess I did those kind of odd job type things. I started in Nashville doing it. And then I went to the cities. Oh, because they had a contest here where you could win some money. And I thought,
Oh, yeah.
oh, if I could just win some money, and then it'd give me a little boost to start again. Actually, my husband won that contest. It was like, at the time, it was like hundreds of people and you had multiple rounds. And so he won it and I got third. And then he told my high school best friend, he's like, Mary got robbed. She should have got second. And we still got married. But I know. So I guess it was really a few years of doing that. Because, whenever you could make money and you were offered like a subbing gig, you'd want to take it. So maybe a few years. I should have kept a diary. But
no, you didn't keep a diary along the way, huh?
Not really. Mm-mm.
Yeah.
But I have,
Do you keep one now?
We have no, I should make that my resolution. I should keep one just for evidence,
Yeah. Where did you find you were building up the biggest fan base?
Well, for Nashville was for a while there. I had that was pretty good, but North Carolina, Seattle, Georgia, Atlanta. I really was just like when I started middling there. I mean, I would drive down there in middle. Those fans are so great. They're still emailing me like 16 years after just after middling there. But yeah, that area and then, Minnesota and Wisconsin. I think I get a better turnout actually. Denver and Seattle. And it used to be North Carolina, but now they're kind of things have shifted there. Like when club owners shift or when they change their style, then it's like changes your turnout too, because people don't just have an opinion about you. Like my crowd, they want to go somewhere where people treat you nicely, and they get good service. Mm-hmm. And if the club's not doing it, then that hurts you too. You got to find a different spot.
Yeah. As you were kind of coming up, you started and you were doing comedy more traditionally, the way you traditionally do it. And then you kind of have the sort of the social media thing take off, and then people are kind of finding gigs that way. How have you navigated like all of that kind of stuff?
Yeah, there wasn't any social media when I started. I would say I was really knocking it out of the park on MySpace. And then when MySpace stopped, I stopped posting videos. And I don't really do a lot. I do once in a while. I have this, so my friend's 12-year-old kid was really helping me out. And now I think he got a girlfriend or something, because I feel like my manager dropped me because he hasn't like texted me for me to give him any more footage. And I'm like, why isn't Ike texting me? Because he was like my guy for doing these videos for me online. And, I'm not as real motivated myself to do it, just because like, I like to keep pumping out new things, but I don't want to do the post for it. I don't want to do I feel like a different person when I go on the computer. I feel like I lose my creativity or the desire or the want to keep producing things, keep making things, because I just don't like doing computer stuff, which is you gotta learn to love it. And I guess I never really learned to love it. MySpace, somehow I really did quite well. I was like, and the sad thing is there's more bad videos of me on YouTube. Like I remember 20 years ago, people were like, can we put this video up on YouTube forever? Here's $25. And I was like, my first year of comedy. And I'm like, yeah, what's YouTube? That'll probably never last. This whole internet thing's going to blow over. And now there's like horrible videos of me up, and I try to get it taken down. and they just ignore you and don't write you back. So it may be time for a lawyer. But I'm not keeping
I
up.
think. Well, I think oh no, I think it's always tough to get a video taken down. It's a pain in the butt. The easiest way to do is just make more videos, so that's not the one that comes up ever.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah,
you're right.
Just drown it out.
Yeah, that's what Taylor Swift does.
Yeah. What do you think about Taylor Swift? Are you a Taylor Swift fan?
Amazed, man. She just goes and goes and goes. She's like the energizer bunny of, first country music, then pop music, and like unbelievable. I always think of her and Beyonce, and I'm like, I bet Beyonce is like always like, son of a bitch. Like, I gotta keep up with this like nimble little, she's like a little like a fairy tale figure, she's like what's that? Pinocchio, Tinkerbell. She's like a little Tinkerbell that never stops. And there's all these other performers that are like, shit, now I gotta keep up with this gal, like infinite energy. And she had this ability to do stuff like this. She's like a genius. She had this ability when she was like 15 or 14 and she became her own manager. And people were making fun of her, and I was listening to her songs, and I was like, I have had a student get their song played at the Country Music Hall of Fame for the fifth graders category. And I listened to her songs, and I was like, seems fine to me. Like, seems like these songs are just fine. And then I had some validation because then Ryan Adams like covered her entire album and was like, people, pull your heads out of your butts. There's nothing wrong with these songs. And then since then, boom, she's off and nobody can keep up. So answer is I'm amazed. I'm just like, I don't know how she does it.
Excuse the interruption, folks, but the Cripescast is brought to you and powered by Everlight Solar. You heard me and Mary Mack talking about solar power. Well, this is the panels that power all of this thing are on the roof of the Cripescast studio. Folks, whether you want to get solar panels because it's good for the planet or it's good for your pocketbook, it doesn't matter. Give them a call, everlightsolar.com. They will hit you with a free consultation. And also, folks, Fleet Farm. It's your go-to place for all things ice fishing. Before you hit the ice, they've got the best brands like Clam, Vexlar, Rapala, ladies and gentlemen, or Rapala if you're one of the people who says it like that. Everything under the sun you could ever need on an ice fishing trip, they got it at Fleet Farm. Shelter, shacks, augers, tip-ups, rods, reels, lures, you name it, they got it. Wax worms, I bet you they got them too. They've got it, so check them out before you go fishing. Make it successful. Also, hand warmers. Don't forget them. Anyway, before you head on out onto the ice, get over to the Fleet Farm. You won't regret it. And finally, folks, check out the Cripescast website, cripescast.com, for all of things Midwest merch. We've got a ton of great shirts and cribbage boards, playing cards, bottle openers, koozies, hats, you name it. We got it. Check us out, cripescast.com. Click on the merch section. Folks, I also want to let you know that if you go to patreon.com/Charlie Barons, we've got a bunch of amazing stuff exclusively for Patreon. I'm talking exclusive sketches, first look at concert dates, exclusive behind the scenes videos, a whole bunch of stuff. Super fun. Check it out. Patreon.com/Charlie Barons. And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to my conversation with Mary Mack. How do you what's the difference in playing a show, say, in Cincinnati versus a show, up north?
Oh, they're real similar. That Cincinnati crowd is so great. Gosh darn. Well, I can't the main differences are the details. I can cite a specific intersection where they've put a stoplight and up north and there'll be people just be so pissed off and be on the same page. So I can say, like A&H, right? The town A&H, and everybody up north will be like, oh, that's where County Road A crosses County Road H. And, or like, oh, that stoplight they put in. And nobody, I can't do that in Cincinnati. Yep. But across the entire north of Wisconsin, I can say that. And up north of 8, we still have very strong opinions about stoplights.
Yeah, what is the north of 8, the up north Wisconsin opinion about stoplights?
Well, most of the time, we're just like, they could have spent that money on something else, right? But it's like, this money has to go to certain. I will say I've changed my mind about the one in Siren, Wisconsin, where 70 and 35 come together, because Siren is like, it's really busy. And I mean, it's not busy like compared to like Minocqua or Bayfield busy, but it is busy in that people get to this intersection and basically are deciding their route for that week, and everybody needs to go through is where 2 roads come together. So I changed my mind on that one. The Grantsburg one, it's ridiculous. Water skip isn't even that, snowmobile skip's not even that popular anymore. And so that's why we think they put it there, but it's unnecessary. It was just like they had money to use for that. And I think people are just like, well, I got to sit here for like 2 minutes and there's not even any cars. I still actually have a lot of anger over that.
Well, I it's good for you to come on the Cripescast and process that anger in a healthy way by just making it known to the local officials that this madness kind of needs to stop.
Yeah. And roundabouts. Yeah. Oh God. Do you know how?
Tell me about roundabouts. Tell me about them.
Well, a lot of the places, it's just, we just can't figure out why. Why are they there? I mean, this is not a bid even. I'm just like, my mom gets the retired, the octogenarians get so nervous about the roundabouts. My mom, before she would go between Danbury and Siren, spent a month memorizing the exits, which there are only 2 or 3 on the roundabout by the Burnett County Airport, by the courthouse. And it just, we get so nervous. People get so nervous. It's really not necessary to put everybody through that, because it wasn't really an issue to start with. So, I mean, maybe they're forecasting a big population boom or something, but that town is, Webster stayed the same size for the last, 40 years at least.
Yeah. And for folks who haven't been to Webster in the past 40 years, 600 folks in Webster. Yeah.
So, I mean, and our school is for other towns. Like, it's Danbury, Dairyland, Webb Lake, Webster, but still, it's not that many people.
Yeah. No, I hear you. I mean, stoplights and roundabouts. I mean, they could have spent that money sinking, some structure in the drink to get more bluegills and bass over by create a reef, an artificial reef or something. Hell, if they just sunk the stoplight, that would do more good probably for the fishing than it was going to do up directing traffic anyway.
Yeah. It is sad that they got rid of all the DNR during the last administration, because they were doing good things up there. So now there's just renegades putting their own Christmas trees, and they're just putting all kinds of crap in there. And like in the lake I grew up on, so we're just like, who is this guy? And I suddenly got he's got his own fishing column, and this is a true story. And I try not to feel the anger in my shoulders, but the rest of us are like, we don't want any more people coming to our lake. Why do you gotta like try to be some hot shot? Like, it's really frustrating. I'm sweating on my back right now because I'm so.
Well, hang on now. You got a fella You got a fella who's sinking structure outside of DNR compliance there, and on top of that, he's got a fishing column.
And also, we're like, paper? Well, he must be driving to the live. He must be driving to another town to post his column because he's not going to post it from here. He must be on Starlink or something. I mean, it's just like piss. And Ron Lipke is our neighbor, Ron Lipke. That's a very, oh God, I said his name. Well, if you know Ron, tell him I said hi. So he's keeping tabs on him. And Ron is out there every day on the lake, and he's noticed a very sizable increase on people off the lake coming onto our lake to fish it. And so it's definitely making a difference. And so, sometimes you don't have to be, sometimes you just want privacy and you don't want everything to be popular and known about. That seems to be the way I also approach my comedy, Charlie. I think there's a theme. Sometimes you just want a little privacy while you're on the stage. You don't want everybody showing up during your me time, doing your comedy set.
Oh my God. Yeah, no, I get that. Comedy and fishing, one and the same. You just want some peace and I think that's good, and I'm sorry that fella's out there putting your name out. And, honestly, I apologize for getting you out on this podcast. If God forbid I get you a few more people coming to your shows, that would be a real drag, That's a lot more people to nod at and acknowledge during your show, and that'll just slow you down, maybe distract you.
Yeah, right.
But I do think some of them might get you a beer. So there's pluses and negatives on that. Hey, I want to say, I got a little game to play with you. Do you want to play it here quick?
Yeah.
Yeah. So this is called Florida versus Northwoods. Okay. So I'm going to rattle off some headlines, and you got to decide whether the news came from the Northwoods or whether it came from Florida. Okay.
Yeah. Oh God, this is going to be hard to tell them apart. I just know it right now, especially if you do the Keys. There's a lot of ex-cons in the Keys, and there's a lot of ex-cons up north. Believe me, I got some stories about that.
Oh, you got an ex-con story?
My brother's one of them, actually.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
Yes.
What did he serve for?
A variety of things, but the one where they really wouldn't let him go was he was drunk driving and stole a sign, a Route 66 sign. If you steal a historic sign like that, it's a federal offense. Just so if anybody's thinking about it. And that lands you in federal prison. Especially if you're drunk.
Didn't know that.
Yep.
My gosh. Now, I mean, could you imagine? Is he still there?
No, he got out. He's in a different type of prison, but he used to do other things where he would just go into our jail in Burnett County on his own terms. Sometimes
he would just go there to hang out.
No, he'd go there to sober up because he always owed time for something. But at the time, until recently, it was a pretty forgiving system where they're like, yeah, you got to do like 40 days, but just come in when, you don't have as much work coming in. It used to be a very nice system we had. And then people got like, tough on crime. Well, it's like, Jesus Christ, he only has a lawnmower he's driving now. And it's like, what damage is he going to do? So anyways.
I mean, he might cut someone else's hedges. I don't know.
Yeah, he might do somebody a favor.
Yeah.
Anyway,
sorry to go down that road. Well,
Florida versus up north.
Florida versus up north. Here we got it. All right. Patron charged with Subway sandwich battery. Patron charged with Subway sandwich January, upset that his sandwich had not been sliced into pieces. A Subway customer allegedly threw the offending hero at a store clerk, striking her with the grub, according to police who yesterday arrested the man for battery. Where do you think that took place, huh?
Well, if it happened in northern Wisconsin, it was by somebody who who wasn't from there. I'll give you that much. My mom couldn't even. I took her for the first time. She couldn't even believe they cut the sandwich for you. That's a privilege.
Oh,
so
your mom was very impressed by the Subway.
Oh my God, yeah. That's a whole long bit too. It was the best dining experience she's ever had in her life. The Subway attached to the St. Croix Falls Walmart. It was. She couldn't even. It was so. I'm going to say Florida. My answer is Florida because I hope to God that that didn't happen in northern Wisconsin. It would be so embarrassing.
It would be embarrassing. You're absolutely correct. It was Stuart, Florida. And of course, that would be very un-Midwest to throw a Sammy at someone.
Yep.
You know, if anything, if you were really to get serious about it in the Midwest, you'd be like, you know, if you don't mind, you know, and seriously, if it's not too much trouble and you got the time, I asked for some meat in this sandwich and
totally.
You just put jalapenos in it. So I'm hoping I could get some meat if you have time.
If you have time. Right. That's right. And I was right, wasn't I? Because you know what? That's Florida money. People who think they're entitled to a cut sandwich, that's like, you're lucky to get a sandwich. There's like 2 Subway. There's probably like 3 Subways tops north of 8. And you know what? Yeah. You're just lucky they're there. And so you're lucky they're using some sort of refrigeration system. So I got it. I nailed it. Thank you.
And they also probably got a pocket knife on them, you know, on their little belt situation, or just one a switchblade in the pocket.
Of course.
All right, sounds good. Here, next headline. Hang on, just one second. City bands together to preserve viral rat hole.
Whoa. Gosh. Rat hole.
Mm-hmm.
I was going to say Florida.
Yeah, see, this is a trick one now.
It is.
Because I said up north and I made it Northwoods, and this actually is from Chicago. So I don't know if that's a trick one or I just didn't fully explain that the game could come from anywhere in the Midwest.
Oh,
Here's the game. The game is Midwest versus Florida headlines.
Okay, this changes things now. It changes things. Okay. Yeah. Well, I didn't know because I was like, I've never seen a rat up north. But okay, let's start again. Now I'll change my mindset.
Okay.
I want to count the first one, but not the second one.
Oh, we won't count it. One time I did see a rat. This wasn't up north, but it was in Milwaukee. It was at my house in Milwaukee, and I was moving a gun case. Yeah. And because I was taking fishing poles in my old gun case, you know, because that's a nice way to move fishing poles is in a gun case. And I opened up the gun case, and a rat jumped in my face right out of it. And then the inside of the gun case, you know, the foam, he had meshed it all up. He had little babies in there. I suppose it might have been a she, but I didn't stop to check and look.
Well, I don't think that was a very good gun case if a rat could get in there and live.
Oh, you know they can get in a lot. Well, what happened was it was only latched on one all the way over to the right. So the rat actually, you know, propped the other sucker. So it was one of them hard plastic cases. So, you know, these rodents, they can get their ways into holes pretty easily.
Rats are so smart. Rats are really, really smart. They're smart animals. And it wasn't your fault, too. Charlie.
No, thank you. But you know what? And then I looked over at the ice fishing shanty that my grandpa Bob had given me. And I pulled that up next. I was cleaning the garage, and they had chewed through all of it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Yeah. Oh, that's awful.
It was terrible. No, thank you for your empathy. I appreciate you. Okay, next headline. Enough about rats. Here we go. Man sues Duncan over toilet explosion that he says left him filthy and injured.
Oh dear! Wow.
Midwest or
Well,
Florida?
would you give me a hint about what year did this happen?
Oh, yes. Yep. You can ask for a
Okay.
hint. This happened in 2023, the year of our Lord.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's tough.
yep. 2022, actually. 2022. Sorry.
I feel like that's a Florida thing. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yep. You're right. Yep.
Oh,
Florida man sues Duncan over toilet explosion. He says left him filthy and injured. The
mhm.
Flager County man is suing Duncan after he suffered a toilet explosion 2 years ago. So he
Mhm.
waited a little
Wow,
while,
he
but the
really waited.
situation, yeah, bathroom
Mm-mm-mm.
exploded. Human feces, urine went all over him, and anyways, it was a no go. Yeah, there was a problem with the toilet due to quote prior incidents. So I
Oh
mean,
yeah, it wasn't me. It was
yeah,
prior
right.
incidents that clogged this John,
Right.
not me.
Yeah, it wasn't the
Yeah.
fact I just had a Dunkin' coffee, you know?
I want to know what injuries other than you're late for your next thing or you're like maybe you could get a UTI. You can. It was a dude. He wouldn't have even got a UTI out of it.
Yeah, probably not. Maybe he got some sort of, shit to mouth disease.
Oh,
As,
yeah, he
you
could have
know,
got E. coli or staph, but
yeah.
boy.
I mean, the world may never know. But
Uh,
anyways, that's
Boo.
just how it
Boo.
goes. Yeah, let's keep her moving here. All right, next headline. Man throws beer can, fires AR-15 rifle after being upset by drivers speeding in his neighborhood.
That could happen either place.
Sure could.
Well, go. There 15 rifle beer can. I'm gonna say Florida again. I'm just gonna say Florida again.
Yep, your instinct is
Yeah.
absolutely correct. Yeah, that yep, that's how that happened. Now I know what you're thinking. This could and the picture, I wish I could show you. I mean, actually the picture could have been Florida or the Northwoods too, but a Polk County man, he's facing felony charges after investigators say his temper raced as a vehicle sped past his house. So a vehicle sped by and he got all pissy about it. Confronted the driver. Yeah, I confronted him about going too fast, and that's when, according to the sheriff, he said he was going to get his AR-15 rifle, and would you know it, he actually did, and they got some ring footage of him.
Whoa.
And I don't really get the AR-15 thing. I don't know why people think that that's a cool gun. Like, if you can't hit it the first time, maybe you should just play big buck hunter, you know?
Yeah,
I don't know why.
I agree. You should just practice. Now, if that headline would have read, a man gets angry with speeding car and throws beer can and unloads some buckshot, that would have been up north. I would have said, I would have for sure up north because it's happened. It's even happened in one of the towns that I mentioned. So,
oh, did someone shoot at a car there? Or?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not good, folks.
Yeah, don't do it. And I know the authorities haven't really been listening, but if you know somebody who is, keep trying your best to turn the people in who are doing the threats with the guns who aren't all the way there, because eventually, at some point, the authorities will listen. We think. I'm going to think positive on this, but yeah. Okay, sad ending to that.
Sad ending to that one. But anyways, we have a couple more and then we'll get you on your way, okay?
Okay.
Just go. All right. Grand Haven pothole. Oh, I said it. Oh my gosh. Well, maybe not. You didn't listen. There's a pothole gaining local celebrity status for wait. Yeah, let me read it this way. Residents fix pothole problem by filling it in with a recliner.
You know what? I don't think Florida gets potholes. I think they get sinkholes.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
I guess I would say Midwest on that.
You're absolutely right. It's from Grand Haven, Michigan.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
just off North Beacon, in fact, in Grand Haven, there's a pothole that's big enough for a chair to fit in it. And that's exactly what
Yep.
they've been doing. Okay. So,
Yep.
construction jobs pretty laid back over there in Grand Haven. All right.
I hope it's a reclining one. I hope.
Yeah.
It is a recliner, did you say? Or is it an easy chair?
Yeah.
It's a recliner?
No, a lazy boy. I mewn it's the
it's a
same
recliner.
sort of,
Yeah.
recliner.
Nice.
One.
That's great.
Yeah.
Point
Just go
taken.
yeah. All right. Last one here. Last one. Okay. Let's see here. Football-sized goldfish have invaded the blank.
I've
Invaded blank. They eat anything and everything. What are football-sized goldfish invading? Is it a Midwest body of water or a Florida body of water?
If I've heard of this, I think it might be a Midwest thing.
Yeah, that's absolutely correct.
Goldfish is just like a glorified carp. That's all that is. So
sure.
If I've heard of it, it's Midwest for sure. Yeah, I've heard of this.
Yeah.
Where did they find them? I don't remember the article.
Well, they're invading the Great Lakes. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, but it's obviously that them are native to Asia, the Asian carps, and then and that they are a problem. They wreak havoc on the ecosystem. Do you ever go shoot them with the bow?
No, I didn't know people were shooting. I know you're encouraged to like spear the Asian carps, but I didn't know people were shooting them, bow hunting them. That was fantastic. Except for
Lake Winnebago.
Oh, they're doing it. Oh my God, I have a story about Lake Winnebago. I had sailing class at UW Oshkosh in Lake Winnebago, and you could basically just like. I was terrified that I would tip over in those boats. They were the tippy sunfish sailboats. And I was like, I cannot tip over because I will land in these carp. But the carp were so thick, it was like you could just walk across the bay. We were in the bay in Oshkosh. And it
Isn't
was
that crazy?
Yeah, it was so gross. But also like, I guess they're planning on nobody ever swimming in there because you don't want to have like sharp arrows in the water.
No. Well, you got your arrows attached to a reel,
Oh,
so you shoot them, but then you bring them in, so you're not losing your arrows.
That's fantastic.
Yeah. And you do got to be careful walking around Lake Winnebago, but it's more for the broken bottles than it is for the arrows. I would think. But.
Well, if they could just hire more geese to keep shitting all over the shores of Lake Winnebago, that feces will get so thick that you won't step on the glass. I feel like that's the strongest remediation plan.
Well, if you ever need a backup plan for your comedy, I think you could probably get some with the DNR with creative ideas like that, So that's pretty cool. Hey, I'm excited for you and your new tour. And if people want to, I know you don't want too many more people coming to your shows. You're kind of at max capacity. But if people did want to go and you wanted to invite them, where could they go find some tickets for you?
Oh my gosh. Yes. Please go to marymackcomedy.com. I do have social media, but why do that when you could just be on my mailing list or go check out my tour schedule there? Like, I have no algorithm, Charlie. There is no algorithm on Mary Mack. I will not find you again unless you sign up. But marymackcomedy.com, all the shows are there and the ticket links are there. And, I put some photos, some videos once in a while on there, and most of the time I forget to send my mailing list out. So it's really not a bother to join. It's really little effect on your life. It's got minimal effect, minimal commitment when you sign up on the marymackcomedy.com mailing list is what I'm saying.
That's nice for people to know that they can sign up and pretty much expect to barely ever get anything.
Yep.
So, it'd be interrupted. But when they get something, they'll know where the shows are and they'll have an opportunity to come see you live. And I got to tell everyone, you're very funny. Very, very funny. I saw your show the other week at the Camelot golf course. You murdered it. You crushed it.
Thanks.
You're so funny. And I hope more people get the chance to see you, even though that might cramp your style. But anyways.
Sometimes even an introvert can be extrovert with enough bush lights. So it's okay.
That's poetry. Really, it is. It's
to
poetry.
Me, their slogan. Why isn't that their slogan? Will you help me get that for a sponsor?
I think you do. That's your next video that you're not going to do because you don't like doing it. But just put your phone right there and then just drink a Busch Light and just say that, and that's your next. That's the advertisement.
Okay, and please let me check in for just like a 5-minute segment on my drive, on my 6 weeks of driving in the Barbie Dream Crusher, just to let you know.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm putting you between a rock and a hard place right now, but
no, you're not. I wanna know. You text me an update and we'll get you on. That would be very fun.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. And thanks and keep up the good work. I go to the dump and the dump man is always like, you heard of this Charlie Barons? And the dump man I used to be his favorite comic, and now you're his favorite comic since you started making the Wisconsin videos. And I'm telling you, that's a real blow to my ego when the guy at the dump drops me for a different comic. I thought that was my niche market.
Mary Mack, I want to tell you, you have not lost the guy at the dump, and there is room for 2 people on that guy's algorithm. There's enough room for the both of us, and you make sure you tell him that I says hi, and make sure you actually tell him. Don't not tell him I said hi, because then he's gonna not like me as much. So
I will.
You think
I'll
about
let him
it.
know.
Consider
I'll let
it.
him know, and if his data plan allows it, and he's got a strong enough cell signal, I'll encourage him to watch more videos. So
that would be really nice. That would be really nice. Well, thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much, Charlie. I'm going to hit the button now, and I hope to talk to you soon.
Tell your husband I say hi, and your mom and brother and everything, all right?
Will do. Take care. Stay warm.
All right, folks, that is it for now. Thanks to Mary Mack for coming on the show. Make sure you follow her at Mary Mack Comedy, despite the fact that she just wants you to subscribe to her mailing list. You can also follow her. If you do want to subscribe to her mailing list, just go to marymackcomedy.com. Follow the Cripescast on all platforms at Cripescast. Thank you, Colleen Maraca, for EPing this sucker. Thanks to Hannah Milos for editing, and thanks to all of you for listening. Until next week, keep her moving. Watch for deer. Tell your folks I says hi. Bye-bye now.
So roll out the barrel and get the band brewing. Life's got you down, just keep her moving. It's on Wisconsin, the Badgers say it's the old Wisconsin Jubilee.
You know, sometimes when you're ice fishing, you put your foot in the walleye hole and go ass over tea kettle and you think you're done. No, you gotta keep her moving.